Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Count Me In. I am your host, Adam Larson, and this is the 93rd episode in our series. Today's conversation is between my co host, Ruba, and I am a board member and financial advisor, Loutfi Echehade. Loutfi is a seasoned financial advisor to family businesses in Saudi Arabia and the region, and joins Count Me In to talk about the implications of COVID-19 and the current economic landscape. For advice on how such owners can maneuver their businesses during these times, keep listening as we go to their conversation now.
So let's get straight into it. I'm excited to get your insights on the family business segment in the region. So analysts and economists consider family businesses the lifeblood of the Middle East region and crucial to the region's economic prosperity and stability. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's family businesses, as you indicated. They represent at least 80%. Some statistics go to 85, 90%. Of the economy is driven by family businesses. In our region, the largest family businesses are the most, critical. They play a critical factor, not only in employment, in number of employment, but in contributing to the global, to the local economies. And so they drive the whole business. And this is not only, in our region, globally, family businesses really are the mainstay and the main drivers of economic developments in most of the world.
According to the Middle East Family Survey conducted last year, they found that 78% of family businesses report economic environment as their top challenge. How does such a limitation play out when you're facing one of the biggest challenging moments in economic history since the 1930s, COVID-19?
Family business, just like any other business, they go through, of course, cycles, and they face all these kinds of challenges once in a while. We had the financial crisis in the 2007, 2008. Before that, we had the September 11 events, and before that, there were a lot of events and major developments in the world. And family businesses, just like any other business, they really not only they were able to sustain and maintain their structure and main business, primarily because they have certain features that allow them to do that: the flexibility, the transparency, the level of commitment, long-term commitment. But still, they face the external pressure just like anybody else. I work on a number of family businesses in the region, particularly in Saudi, and the pandemic, the COVID-19 has significant impact on their operations. So they face the same music just like another business. However, if they are well structured, they can manage to go through these events, major events, and heavy burdens in the future.
So how equipped are regional family businesses for this huge task? And what are some of the best practices that you've noticed, from your practice?
By their nature, family businesses, they are a family-oriented, family-directed. They have a clear strategic planning. They commit, to the family values, the family culture. So they were up and downs, for most of their lives, most of their business life. So they go through a lot, as I said, a lot of turmoils, roadblocks, headaches, pressures. And if they are really well managed and they have proper structure, and that's where we come to family governance. And they really have proper family governance that unites them, that puts them together. And as I said, they are not like corporate, like the corporate world, businesses for profit. They don't aim to just really, or they don't focus on the short term. They focus on the long term. And there is also the level of loyalty. In family businesses, you find a lot of family, of course, family members being united and being committed, but at the same time, a lot of non-family members aligned and committed and work aggressively, even sometimes more than the family members. So you have that combination of commitment to the long term, not to focus on the short term, the willingness and the desire and the interest and the commitment to continue to the next, to the following generations. And then they have the loyalty part of it, which also drives them into the future and into the long term. So I've seen family business, for example, just an example, a lot of companies now in our region and globally, they are firing people. Of course, they put people on furloughs or extended long leaves, and they cut salaries. The family businesses that I deal with, they face the same problems, but they manage, in a way to keep these employees with them, because they have been with them during tough times, difficult times, as well as in good times. So they look at them as really part of their commitment, not only to their employees, but to the society as a whole, to the community. And that is different, a little bit different from directional wise, different from other businesses.
I mean, you noted governance, which was going to be my next question. You've been providing advisory to family businesses in the region for many, many years. How committed are they to governance, and do they value it? I mean, what has been your experience with this essential aspect of the sector, as you just mentioned as well?
It is. We are in a journey. In the Middle East, of course, if you're talking about governance, corporate or family governance, not many people would understand it, and not many people will really decipher it, if you wish. I mean, everybody will give you a different meaning, and it did not really have a lot of meaning. But things have changed. I would say the last decade, the last 10 years, 15 years, things have changed. Both on the corporate side, where our governments, regulators have put corporate governance regulations, protocols to ensure that the corporations have proper structures to maintain their operations, as well as to really ensure that they provide right and correct information. On the other hand, the family governance also is something that is a process, a set of protocols. Not family businesses, most of them, I would say, they have heard of it, they understand it. But if you were to tell me, are they committed to implementing it? That's still, we still have a way to go. I know of well-known, large number of well-known family businesses. They have already proper structures. They have proper family governance structures in place. They have what we call a family constitution that defines roles and responsibilities of family members who serve on the corporate side, on either as board members or at the C-suite level. And then they have also what we call certain committees to ensure that there is proper alignment between the corporate side and the family side. And also defines who can be employed in the company and who cannot. The matter of dividend, conflict resolution issues, succession planning. All these are very critical components of ensuring a successful and easy and smooth transition into the following generations.
With a GDP contribution of more than 60%, a workforce contribution of 80%, a broad range of sectors including food and drink, manufacturing, construction, education, and health, and trillions of dollars in revenue. How will the current situation impact employment within the family business segment in the region? And what are governments doing to support and to mitigate this impact?
Of course, the pandemic, the COVID-19 has, as we said earlier, it has a significant impact on all businesses. It has significant businesses all over the world. We have, in the US, of course, we have unemployment reaching over 14%. Although I don't have statistics on the Middle East, like in Saudi or in the GC, but I've seen a lot of companies that they really have, they are working at 20% or 30% capacity. So yes, all are suffering and all are going through the same issues. of course, the focus now is on really maintaining as much as possible on moving and operating with the what we call the leanest type structure. So meaning just focusing on cash flow positions, really reducing the impact on the working capital gap, ensuring that they have a bloodline of credit. And the governments on the other side they have initiated a lot of initiatives, put a lot of programs to help small and medium-sized companies. And that came and came handy, and it's doing it has a lot of both positive and contributing factor to maintaining these companies to survive, to continue. And of course, there is also the fact that banks, financial institutions have been a little bit lenient and flexible in extending loans to these companies and waiving some of the covenants, if you wish, on some areas. But it's going to be it's a very difficult, very different, extremely difficult and different kind of animal we're fighting now. And the fact that it is prolonged and is deep, really, it will have significant, long-term repercussions. And those companies, family businesses or others, will have really to ensure that they have proper and well-designed, carefully planned, budgets and forecasts for the near future, at least for the remaining 2020 and 2021.
Surely, I mean, some legacy businesses have endured the unendurable in some cases, but in your view and experience, how are they coping with digitization and digitalization and, the whole digital transformation altogether? There was a survey that was conducted pre-COVID-19 that stated that 44% of family business owners are committed. 63% of them have confirmed that they do need more innovation. But how likely is that commitment to manifest in light of post-COVID-19 scenario, even though most businesses are operating remotely for the time being?
The digital transformation era has started long before the COVID-19. And many family businesses, the leading family businesses, they have already been on that journey. So they have they have done a lot of the steps and the initiatives that required really to move into the digital era. Of course, most of the other family business, I would say, they are still lagging. They're still behind, and they will be difficult. They will have difficult time if they really don't invest in improving, in innovation, in new technologies. With artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these initiatives and platforms are being introduced. And I know some family businesses, as well as our other businesses, to be honest with you, they have already invested in that. And I've been on the board, meeting just a couple of weeks ago, when actually we talked about stopping some of these initiatives where we invest in new technologies, in new programs to enhance, the business, particularly in the technology side. And they said, we are not going to stop these initiatives because these are very important. They are more critical at this age than at this time, more than before. So, most of the retail business now is done, as we know, is done all online. So if you look at the businesses that are really thriving now and those that are lagging, you will see that the technology innovations and the digitalization has really helped those that have already invested. This will continue. This will continue, and there is no escape from it. And I think if we have learned a lesson from this pandemic, is that there will be more significant investment in digital areas, and in technological innovations, and that's the only way to go, because as we know, it affected every facet of life. It affected every business.
In some of the recent discussions that we've had over the last few weeks and few months, there's been a lot of emphasis on cash flow management. How does that work for family businesses, and what have been some of the lessons learned from where you stand?
One of the key attributes or key features as success factors of family businesses is that they don't focus on the early distributions of dividends. I have seen a lot of companies, if you look at the balance sheet, you will see that their capital is, let's say, an X amount, and then the retained earnings figure is like 5 times or even more. What that means is that in the past, they have never focused on just making distribution as part of their normal process. We know that corporations, will have to distribute dividends to shareholders almost either on an annual basis, semi-annual, or a quarterly. Family businesses don't do that. At the same time, the fact that the family businesses, by their nature, they are more resilient. They are, the decision-making process is much easier. The level of commitment is there. So they can manage, and control the flow of their cash much smoother and much easier and more direct. So in a family business that I serve as audit committee, they already, they look at the cash flow almost weekly. And almost weekly, because that's very, very important. They want to ensure that they have enough cash really to manage their operations. Some of the matters that they have, initiatives they have done, for example, is, of course, not to cut salaries, but at least they let employees take their unearned vacations. And also maybe have some time offs. This is on the salary side. On the other side, for example, work with suppliers, long-term suppliers and vendors on extended credit facilities. Instead of paying like every 30 days, 60 days, they will really try to really manage a more flexible payment schedule. They also work on reducing unnecessary costs, maybe closing some non-essential businesses or operations. They take a lot of initiative. As I said, also they cut down on their withdrawals. They stop paying dividends to themselves, and that is very. And they don't take salaries. So all that helps a lot in at least managing the situation until things improve.
I mean, you have covered quite a lot of ground on that one, and I wanted to ask you as my last question, what advice do you have for family business owners in the region, and is there light at the end of the tunnel? Please say yes.
Yes, in life, we've gone, of course, we haven't. We have lived through some difficult times, and the world goes through a lot of turmoils once in a while. And I'm sure, we will get out of this. It's not easy, and it's not simple, and it's costly, unfortunately. Lives, businesses, human beings will suffer all over the place, all over the world. But we will get out of it. There's definitely life will go on. And my advice to family businesses as well as to other businesses is really focus on the long term. Stay the course. Stay focused on what has made you successful so far. If you read the history of well-known family businesses, they have gone through disruption. They have gone through foreclosure. Someone almost went bankrupt, and they came back and thrived and became, much stronger. So it is really just keep your head up and keep You keep your focus at the future. And yes, there is light
at the end of the tunnel.
At the end of the tunnel. There's light, and there's going to be bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Amazing. That's what I wanted to hear. Brilliant. Loutfi, thank you so much for your insight. I'm sure that a lot of family business owners and, as you said, also regular business leaders in the region are going to benefit from this conversation. So thanks again for all your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
This has been Count Me In, IMA's podcast, providing you with the latest perspectives of thought leaders from the accounting and finance profession. If you like what you heard and you'd like to be counted in for more relevant accounting and finance education, visit IMA's website at www.imanet.org.